July weather risk is starting to matter for the U.S. corn market. Now, is July U.S. corn heat risk emerging? That is the question we are going to walk through today in this video. This is not a crop loss call, this is not a market prediction, and this is not a hype video. It is a weather risk signal to track objectively. Now, here is the plan. First, we will look at why July temperature risk matters in the CropProphet graphics. Then, we will look at the ECMWF 500 millibar pattern, which helps us show where ridging is favored. Finally, we will look at the ECMWF temperature probability maps. Again, the goal is not to turn one forecast update into a big conclusion. The goal is to see whether the signal is worth monitoring. Let us start with the CropProphet data. This chart here shows a relationship between U.S. corn and soybean production weighted average temperature and yield deviation by 7-day windows. For corn, much of July shows that warmer production weighted temperature departures have historically tended to line up with a weaker U.S. corn yield deviation. Now, that does not mean every warm forecast leads to yield loss. It simply tells us that July temperature risk is a period grain traders should watch closely. The scatter plots here tell the same story in another way. Each panel shows a 7-day window ending on the date shown. As we move through July, several of these patterns show that warmer temperature departures have tended to line up with weaker U.S. corn yield deviations. This is why the timing of the ECMWF warm forecast signal matters. We are not saying the forecast causes specific yield outcome. We are saying the forecast is showing above normal temperature probabilities during a month when temperature risk has historically been relevant. Now, let us look at the broader pattern. This 500 millibar height probability map helps us to see where the model favors higher or lower heights. For a grain market audience, the simple version is this. Higher heights near the central U.S. or Corn Belt can support a warmer pattern, while lower heights often point to a colder or more unsettled pattern. In the graphics or GIF shown here, the central and eastern U.S. have periods where higher heights are favored. That does not mean or guarantee heat at the surface, but it supports watching the temperature guidance closely. Now we connect the pattern to the temperature probability maps. These maps show whether temperatures are favored to be above normal, near normal, or below normal compared with the 2006 through 2025 climatology. Red areas shown on the map show where above normal temperatures are favored. Blue colored areas show where below normal temperatures are favored. Across several July windows, the ECMWF forecast guidance shown here favors above normal temperatures across parts of the Corn Belt. Now, this signal is not uniform everywhere, and it will likely shift with future updates, but it is visible enough to keep on the radar. For grain traders, this is potentially a forecast of opportunity. That does not mean it's a guaranteed trade. It means the forecast is giving grain traders something specific to monitor before the pattern is fully resolved. The key questions are simple. Does the above normal temperature signal strengthen or fade? Does it shift toward the corn belt or away from it? Does the ridge signal become more focused, or does it weaken in future ECMWF forecast updates? That is the value of tracking this objectively. The opportunity is in watching how the risk changes, not in overreacting to one map. Bottom line, July weather risk is starting to matter for the U.S. corn market, and the latest ECMWF guidance shows a warmer leaning signal across parts of the Corn Belt during several July windows. This is not a crop loss call or a market prediction. It is a forecast signal worth monitoring as we move through the weather risk part of the summer for U.S. corn. If you found this useful, hit the like button and subscribe for more grain market weather updates through this growing season. To get a risk-free trial of CropProphet, click the link in the comments or description. You can also sign up for our July grain market weather webinar on July 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both links are in the comments and description below.